Definitely feeling quite fluffy after birthday celebrations. I had a lot more ab definition before, but nothing that a week of eating well can't fix. No regrets, right? Definitely feeling quite full of glycogen after that meal last night and excited to train today.
Got one sock on.
Dobby is a free elf. That's a meow meow. Let's do the meow meows measurements. So now we're just doing our weekly ritual, which is Sunday measurements, to see where our body comp is at. If you are struggling to like stay on track, or even just this is a great idea for just knowing where you're sitting at body comp wise and seeing if you're progressing or regressing, because otherwise you're kind of guessing. And yeah, it can be a lot more motivating if you know where you're at and where you need to be. And this week I predict I gained a lot of body fat after my birthday. We had like I hate the word cheat day, but like a free day we'll call it. You don't have to do measurements with a caliper as well. Like you can just do circumference measurements, which are probably the most viable option for most people.
Hand behind your back.
I think a DEXA scan exposes you to radiation if you do it too frequently.
8 mil.
It's a lot for me, but it's not the end of the world. What do we expect though? I thought it would be like 20 mil, so.
I actually lost 3 mil, so.
That's not fair.
It is. I also lost 600 grams of muscle and.
That's not fucking. How do you lose 600? Stop.
Don't get anything.
Stop. I'm being serious.
Hurry up, I'm not doing it on purpose now.
So this is my pre-gym meal. We've got some spudlight potatoes and beef mince with salt. And then we've also got some rice cakes with banana, manuka honey and cinnamon and some salt on it. I like to add salt simply to help with muscle contractions and hydration for my workouts. And then the potatoes here also have a decent amount of potassium in them, which helps with muscle cramps. So that's a little tip. Salt your pre-gym meal. That's really going to help with muscle contractions, avoiding cramps, and also to hydrate your muscles while training. And then I usually have about a liter of water with this meal, and I consume it around 90 minutes before the gym. I also forgot to mention that I add peanut butter. I've got a salted caramel peanut butter here, which is so delicious.
Look at that. That's how many calories I've had today.
3,091.
Yeah, and it's 11 a.m.
That was me yesterday. Except
actually, no. I've had more than that.
Except I'm getting fat. I'm just going for a walk with Weenie, the Weenus, and going to hit some full body today. So I've changed up my training plan, and now it's full body every second day instead of posterior anterior rest. And I do like this because it means all of the muscles get targeted a bit more frequently, but obviously there is like less sets. So in this split, there's only 1 to 2 sets max per exercise, which sounds crazy, but it forces you to push a lot harder, and the recovery is a little bit better as well. Because if you think about it, if you're doing like 4 or 3 sets, it might take you 4 to 5 days to actually recover from that. But if you're doing just 1 set and going really intensely, then it's not as long the recovery. So you actually can train that muscle more frequently, and frequency is, like the more frequently we can train a muscle group, the more ideal it is for like hypertrophy. So yeah, excited to go do a new, I was so fucking cringe with like a selfie stick. In terms of pre-gym foods, there are so many things you can go for, but the ones I probably wouldn't go for are things like granola. I know some people love oats, so like whatever works for you, but personally, if I try and have granola and oats pre-workout, it kind of just sits in your stomach. So it's like you want to experiment with the foods that work best for you. Typically, I would stay away from foods that are very high in fiber and fats pre-workout, especially if you're not in a calorie deficit, because they're going to be really slow digesting. So things like rice, starchy carbs like potato are good pre-gym. I do like dates are really good pre-gym as well. Banana, kiwi fruit, potato. They're quite high in potassium, which will help with muscle contractions. And always salty pre-workout meal too. On days such as today, it can be really hard to be motivated for the gym. And while I think motivation is totally overrated, I totally get it. It can be easier to like slack it off and not really feel like training in muggy weather. But I guess like your vision of your bigger purpose is kind of what will hold you to that. And you know, when you've done it enough times where you have a question like, oh, you know, am I going to train today? If you just do it, like regardless of how you fucking feel, unless you need a deload, but if it's just mental, the more you kind of do it, it becomes not a if question, but more of like a when question. So we'll go through days like that. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like training. We don't always feel motivated to train, but your routine around the gym is something you can really use to cultivate more of a gym mindset. So as Bedros Keuilian says, your systems and routines are going to determine, you know, whether you succeed or fail. And I believe that about the gym as well. All right, we're feeling good today. So I just want you to remember that your routine on the way to the gym and around the gym will dictate the results and the quality of your performance. That mindset for the gym does not start as soon as you walk in the gym. It actually starts leading up to the gym. On the drive there, it starts with what you're eating before the gym. For example, you know, I don't listen to the radio anymore on my way to the gym. Not that I really used to, but I don't listen to anything that will get me outside of that gym zone, because I know that I need to cultivate a very specific mindset. For example, I might watch some IFBB pros train on YouTube for that wellness motivation. I might put on my pump up gym tunes. I'll be drinking my pre-workout drink on the way to the gym, and then having my pre-gym meal always an hour before my session, and relatively the same foods every time. If your routine leading up to the gym is not predictable and it's fairly random, you know, you're having massive meals right before you train with no gap, maybe you're not eating before your session, maybe you're really stressing and not putting yourself in that mindset, then you are going to have a shit session. It's as simple as that. So the more we can create like predictability around the variables in our workout, the better the session we're going to have. I think you get to a certain point where, I'm definitely at this point, where you need all the bells and whistles to be able to have a good workout. Like, I've gotten to the point where I have straps, belts, waist trainers, cuffs, everything. Like, it is good to be able to control your parameters to have a consistent workout, but you don't want to rely on those things so much that you can't train without them, because then you need ideal conditions to train. So today, mentally, where I was at was like, oh no, I left my knee sleeves at home. I'm not going to be as strong. And then my mind was like, no, you know what? We're just going to go for it anyway, feeling really strong today. You've got to prime your mind into it, because if you tell your mind you're going to be weaker today, you will. But I just said, you know what? I've forgotten how knee sleeves at home. It doesn't matter. We can absolutely do this, you know. It's 100% about what you tell yourself when you're training. And tapping into those effective reps means pushing yourself to a very dark place. Recently, I've been adding in a few cluster sets to beat a few strength plateaus, but they are accruing a bit of fatigue, so I'm probably going to take them out in a week or so, and then the lifts that I was plateauing should be up, which is a little trick. So if you don't have unilateral exercises in your program, so single arm, single leg, individual sides, then that is something you want to change. So unilateral exercises help to strengthen us as a whole, and they also help to even out imbalances. So for example, like you are going to have a lot stronger of a squat if you're unilaterally training each leg individually on some days, because when they combine as a whole, they will be stronger. So just finished that leg session. It was really good. I'm so fucking awkward on camera when I go to film by myself. It's actually so funny. But I think we all probably struggle with this to some degree, but I literally struggle so bad with imposter syndrome. Especially today, that little voice in your head that's a bit naggy, it was extra strong, and it was like, why should you do this? You're not qualified to do this. You can't do this. And it's just about shutting out that voice, And it happens to the best of us, but you just got to kill that little voice. And something that I found really helpful actually for retraining my subconscious mind is playing affirmations on a loop. It sounds so cringe, but like if you record affirmations of whatever it is, like money, whatever you want to adopt, positive self-concept, and you just play them on loop a couple of times a day for like 10 minutes, it helps to actually reprogram your subconscious mind into having those more positive thoughts. So that's what I've done this week, and I've actually found it to be so beneficial. If I, ever get a limiting belief, or especially in the morning, I don't know why, but I'd wake up with anxiety. When I get those negative thoughts, instead of listening to them at the start of the day, I'll play my affirmations, and it can really just help to start the day on a positive note. And that and journaling. I know it sounds so woo, but it's like, why not? Why the fuck not? You're worth it. It's worth it to have a positive self-concept. So I'm going to keep doing it. So this is our current favorite obsession. It is pho. Literally the best food ever. Hot pho with some bean shoots and extra collagen. Perfect for the cold weather. So now we're going to get some boba tea, aka Asian drink with squiggly bits in it. I swear Asian food is literally just like liquid with squiggly bits in it. These are all the shoplifters, I guess.
To be honest.
What?
So I'm really not surprised by that one.
Which one? Every single time I get like the entire cup full of topping, and then I have like 3 drops of the tea. We're not going to make that mistake this time. It's probably about 50 grams of carbs per drink, but perfect for post-workout in a build phase. Jacob's bubble tea is so aesthetic, so like strategic, and mine is just like, let's plonk every single topping in a cup and then put some...
Same as when we went to Hot Pot, and it was $4.10 100 grams, and hers was...
My bowl ended up being like $85, yeah. $85, because I'm like, let's put every single hot pot topping in it, and it's just like this chaotic bowl of stuff that doesn't make sense.
Mine was 30 and I didn't even finish it. Mine was $30 and I couldn't finish it.
Because you actually think about, whether the toppings and the drink will go together.
No. All you need to stop that sentence at is think. You actually think. That's the only thing that needs to be known.
I'm just like, let's go crazy for variety.
Kush. Smell that?
Kush. Another good idea is to backload your carbohydrates. So like if you get a training session in the morning, or if you train fasted.
Make sure you eat them through your butthole instead of your mouth.
What?
Backload them.
Haha. then, you know, having a carb-rich meal in the evening with a few fats to slow digestion is going to make sure that your glycogen stores are nice and replenished for the morning when you go to train. It's especially good if you're training fasted. Yeah, cheers.